Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Live from historic Mostar in Bosnia. This is Wisdom of the Sages, a daily spiritual podcast that makes ancient wisdom relevant today. I'm your host, Raghunath, with co-host and senior educator at the Bhakti Center in New York, Kaustubh Das. Welcome to the show. This is episode 1350, here with Miss Mara spinning the dials, and we just made it to Mostar, famous Mostar. And it's famous because Justine, our regular Zoomer, got engaged here. But it's actually famous. We drove, but you wait. Amar Ananda also got engaged here to Jaigopi. This must be the hotspot for engagements.
Slow down, Raghunath. Slow down.
Okay. Well, the bridge is packed. We're surprised it holds. It's one of these beautiful arcs, stone arced bridge, but very, very high, and a beautiful river. And it's like an old town. And it was affected during the war. In the 90s, but anyway,
you seem to have a lot of. You've gathered some tidbits about it.
Little tidbits. By the war. I'm a trivia guy. It was bombed and re-put back together.
Okay, they went down there and they dug it up.
They went down there and scuba'd, picked it out, picked the actual pieces out. Yeah. So we left the sea and now we're into the mountains, and we're going to spend another day here in Mostar. And then we're going to head for Sarajevo for a program, Kirtan Satsang program. For about, how many people are coming, Jaigopi? 200 people.
200 people. All
yeah,
right.
Going to get the kids to play mridanga and sing backups. It's going to be like the Krishna conscious Partridge Family up there.
Nice.
Yeah, looking forward to it.
I just hope the locals don't turn on you during the program. What if 200 people turned on you?
Yeah.
Kill the American. Kill the Yankee.
The American. It's not like we're welcome everywhere. We're not like we're welcome. Oh, there's many shelter fans, Jaigopi says.
Okay, yeah, I'm sure it's going to work out. It
should work out. How are you, Kaustubh? What am I missing?
Same old. I'm just gonna have a simple life here. I'm trying to keep it very simple.
Mara's heading to Africa, like in a day after tomorrow for a wedding.
That's really unusual.
I know.
I
was like, how are you going to do? I was like, what are you going to do without me for 12 days? And you're like, I'll manage. I was like, oh, really? I'm going to be walking around in my underwear, dripping food down my chest, and the whole house is going to be a mess.
Will you manage? His question. Right?
Yeah. I'm going to be walking in circles.
You're coming back to a retreat at the farm, so you'll have a bunch of people around.
Still walking around in circles in my underwear. Anyway, let's dive into some interesting stuff today.
Well, first there's announcements, Raghunath.
Yeah.
All right. We have Back to Recovery group meetings at noon and 1:30.
Okay.
We got our dates for next year's Wisdom of the Sages retreat in Italy, June 30th to July 7th.
This one is going to be bigger and better than ever.
Bigger and better. What does that mean? Bigger and better. Was Italy got bigger all of a sudden?
And there's a rumor that Kaustubh finally went out, and we're going to go to Assisi.
That's right.
Maybe.
We got
Assisi.
Maybe.
What are you talking about? Maybe.
Assisi options.
Oh, you're doing it like it's an optional thing, Raghunath?
It's an option.
Just surrender, man.
I don't want to go. I think you're going to do really well.
Hold on, let me finish the announcement though.
Go with Kaustubh or have fun and do something with me.
If you register for the retreat in the next 29 days, then you get a discount with discount code WOTS25.
WOTS25.
Yeah. But email WOTSItaly@gmail.com for more info.
There's like a whole thing. Like I saw the layout. They have it on. We got to connect that to our website in some way or something like that. Because
I'll also put the website link in the show notes as well.
It was like day 1, day 2, day 3.
Yeah, if we appear to becoming more professional, because I know this. I mean, we started this podcast just like we don't even know how to use a computer, and now it's looking a little bit more professional. I just want our people to know out there,
it's got nothing
to do with us. We're still the same schleps we've always been. But we've got people who are good at stuff and they're volunteering their life and their heart. The whole community is supporting what we're doing because it's affecting all of us at the same time. And this is a good plug. This is a community supported podcast. If you like what we do, Support us at wisdomofthesages.com, the new website, the new platform built by also members of our community. And join a Sage group, also a way to build community, develop friends. And if you're on the old community, if you were supporting us on Patreon, get off it. Join this one. It's much more organized, better. Just move it over, shift it.
All right. And double it.
And double it.
Okay, just checking.
Double it. Double it. I've got a little announcement too. If people, I've getting a lot of feedback from yoga studios who want to like buy like a bunch of my books. If you get 10 or more, I can give you the wholesale discount. Just direct message me on Instagram and I'll arrange it for you. They're like $14 if you get 10. So, yeah, I appreciate it. Also, join Wisdom of the Sages at the beautiful Govardhan Eco Village for a Light on Wisdom training, January 12th through the 24th. If you ever wanted to have a time away from the daily grind in January to learn about yoga wisdom in depth and have all of your questions answered in a supportive environment, this is an opportunity that cannot be missed. Go to wisdomofthesages.com/events for more info and to register. Also, Jiva G and Bhakti Recovery groups are happening on the regular there as well. So that's very special.
All right.
Lots of kirtan, lots of fun, lots of great food, great people, lifelong friends, and you won't forget it.
Okay.
There you go. All right. That's
All
the
right,
announcements.
Great. You ready for the next
Oh,
segment?
we got a nugget for you, Mara.
Whew. Do you want me to read this nugget, Raghunath? Or do you want to read? Okay, because this is we thought we'd read a little bit from this. It's a New York Times article, actually. It was published, it was written by Ellen Berry and Cecilia Kang, and it was published on June 17th. And the headline is, and this is important because we talk about this stuff all the time on the show. Surgeon General. Do you know what the Surgeon General actually is, Raghunath?
It's like a position, like Indra.
Yeah, it is a position.
It's not like a, yeah.
It's like the nation's most important doctor in a sense, right? Like this, like
Vivek
I don't know,
Murthy.
maybe America look up what is the Surgeon General.
I was always wondering what it was in the old days, but I found that it's actually a post.
Yeah, no, it's definitely a post. I think it's a post. You know,
I thought it meant like in general, the surgeons agree.
No,
I thought it was about a bunch of surgeons got together and had a committee.
No,
but
it's
a
like
Surgeon General.
Like the president appoints the Surgeon General, who kind of is like the top person when it comes to the nation's health or something like that, right?
The operational head of the United States Public Health Service Commissioned Corps, and thus the leading spokesperson on matters of public health in the federal government of the United States.
And who was
so this is
Fauci?
coming from the federal government.
And who was Fauci? What was he? What did he? How did he
I
get in that?
forget. He
Okay,
wasn't the
go on.
Surgeon General. Okay, so the Surgeon General calls for warning labels on social media platforms. This stuff is dangerous, people. We've been saying it, right? Now the Surgeon General is saying it.
Is this dangerous? What we're doing now?
No, social media platforms, not
Okay.
podcasting.
Podcast is safe. Just checking
Gotta
in.
be careful with your podcast too. But okay, Dr. Vivek Murthy, he's the Surgeon General, said that he would urge Congress to require a warning that social media can use that social media use can harm teenagers' mental health.
But it can't. And once you get out of your teens, it's completely fine.
No, it's just as dangerous. It's well, maybe not just.
Well, probably
it's-
in those
it's
impressionable
dangerous either.
years, it probably really screws with you.
And the
Just
cortex.
Just like trauma, if you're 25, trauma is one thing, but if you're 5, trauma is a whole nother thing. You know, so I'm sure the warning is for youth, but it affects everybody.
Well, it's just like cigarettes and stuff like that. There's warnings for this and that, but like it's illegal to sell them to children, you know. And
Right. Right.
Okay, the U.S. Surgeon General, Dr. Vivek Murthy, announced on Monday that he would push for a warning label on social media platforms, advising parents that using the platforms might damage adolescents' mental health.
Yeah.
Warning labels, like those that appear on tobacco and alcohol products, are one of the most powerful tools available to the nation's top health official. But Dr. Murthy cannot unilaterally require them. The action requires approval by Congress. The proposal builds on several years of escalating warnings from the Surgeon General. In a May 2023 advisory, he recommended that parents immediately Let's see if you do this, Raghunath. That parents immediately set limits on phone use. Do you set limits on phone use? You can't because you're on it more than your kids. Doom scrolling away.
Well, wait a second. Is it social media or just having a phone?
Well,
Because not everything on the phone is social media.
no, but anyway, this is the way the things work.
My 10-year-old's working on a play right now.
He recommended that parents immediately set limits on phone use and urged Congress to swiftly develop health and safety standards for technology platforms. He also called on tech companies, and good luck with this, to make changes.
Yeah, right.
To share internal data on the health impact of their products, to allow independent safety audits, and restrict features like push notifications, autoplay, and infinite scroll. What is infinite scroll?
Oh, you don't know that. That's me sitting in the bathroom scrolling infinitely.
Which he says prey on developing brains and contribute to excessive use. In an interview, Dr. Morty said that he had been deeply frustrated by the platform's reluctance to do so. I don't, he quote, here's a quote from, I don't think we can solely rely on the hope that the platforms can fix this problem on their own, he said. They've had 20 years. He said that he is quite optimistic that legislators will put forward a bill requiring a warning label, which he envisions would appear regularly on screens when people use social media sites.
You think that affects people? Do you think anyone who wants to smoke a cigarette is going, well, anyway, the surgeon?
Okay, well, I'll speak to that right now, Raghunath, because somewhere in this article, he does speak to that. Past warning labels have had significant effects on behavior. In 1965, after a landmark report from the Surgeon General, Congress voted to require all cigarette packages distributed in the United States to carry a warning that using the product may be hazardous to your health. Thus began a 50-year decline in smoking. When the warning labels first appeared, around 42% of U.S. adults were daily cigarette smokers. 42%. By 2021, that portion has dropped to, what do you think?
You know what? I'm just not sure. I'm going to give the Surgeon General all the credit for that.
Hold
people weren't even into health. There were no gyms back then. People would go to the gym.
Before you jumped, I just asked a question. It was at 42% before.
22. How about that?
11.5.
11.5. I don't think the Surgeon General, I'm not going to give the Surgeon General that much credit. You know what they have to do? What they do in India. You know what all I'm saying, there's many, many factors why people stop smoking in America.
Such as?
One is just became socially uncool.
Maybe that had a lot to do with the warning labels.
That's one crazy, peculiar factor. It does not necessarily.
Crazy,
people got into
peculiar.
Health. People got into health more than they are. No one went to the gym in the 70s. Now people go to the gym. They go to yoga. They do Pilates. Cultures change.
All right. Well, whatever you asked. And
look at Europe. People smoke like chimneys in Europe.
And they don't have the warning labels there.
And they don't. Yes, they do. Yes, they do. You know what you got to do? You got to be like Indian. India puts the pictures of people's mouth like being totally destroyed by a disease, right? So does Europe. Yeah. Oh, that's not working. Okay, that's not working. I'm not going to give it any credit to the Surgeon General.
What kind of paranoid?
It's like put a rated R movie on a movie. No one cares.
Well, it doesn't. Whatever. It's been a factor in the whole thing, Raghunath. Just slow down. Why are you getting all worked up? You're on your conspiracy.
Well, because the Surgeon General is trying to take all the credit for this stuff, and you're giving them all the credit.
They listed a stat. You take it into. You take it in. You factor it in. It's part of the equation. Okay, relax. Slow down, Raghunath. The world's not out to get you.
I'd like to see the Surgeon General's internet history himself.
Why are you so against the Surgeon General? Federal government.
Okay, go on.
Okay. There's a lot here. Let's see. Here it says in an essay published in the New York Times opinion section on Monday, Dr. Murthy pointed. Why are you losing it over there? Dr. Murthy.
Norway Noth said excessive intake of nature is metal might harm your mental health.
Yeah, you see, right?
Now we know that's not
that's
true.
Got you all like jittery right now. You can't even hear this stuff because you do so. In an essay published in the New York Times opinion section on Monday, Dr. Murthy pointed to research showing that teens who spent more than 3 hours a day on social media face significantly higher risk of mental health problems, and that 46% of adolescents said that social media made them feel worse about their bodies. U.S. teens are spending an average of how many hours per day on social media platforms like YouTube, TikTok, and Instagram? What do you think, Ragnar? How many hours per day?
I mean, probably 6.
Whoa, 6 hours. Yeah,
No,
4.8. But I
4.8.
God, I thought
Well, let me say,
4.8
my
is
kids, they didn't get a
crazy.
phone till they were 16. That was the rule.
Okay.
My 10-year-old slipped under the rail because the family was shaky, but he got a little. He was sort of he was a little feral, but he doesn't have social media. I mean, he does YouTube. He has YouTube, but I won't call that social media, or maybe I will. I don't know. But
I think everybody else does.
I think he uses it in a productive way. Like he's
Well,
completely
that's the
into
thing.
entertainment.
Like
He
anything
wants
else.
to make entertaining videos.
Does he doom scroll?
No, he just plays video games, and
Okay.
but he's regulate. He's self-regulated. He'll be like, "Dad, I think I'm getting to the point of addictiveness now. I'm gonna
No
stop."
kidding.
He'll say that.
Maybe that's because you set such a good example, Ragnar. You
Talk
speak
to Mara.
wisdom on a daily
Talk to Mara.
basis.
She's has lost all faith in me as a spiritualist since dating me. I thought he was so evolved.
I thought he was involved.
I thought he was
Got a little close. In an interview last month, who's saving who over here? Right? In an interview last month, Dr. Murthy said that he had repeatedly heard from young people who can't get off the platforms, often finding that hours had passed despite their intention to just check their feeds. The platforms are designed to maximize how much time we all spend on them, he said.
Sure.
And it's one thing to do that to an adult, and another thing to a child whose impulse control is still developing, whose brain is at a sensitive phase of development.
Talk to the Bhakti Recovery Group. Adults don't do well
Okay.
with self-control and
Adults have
addictive
trouble too.
behaviors.
But you know, I just rather than debate the details about how effective warning labels are. That's really not why I brought this article up, but it's to show that actually, you know what, we take in things that are addictive and that make us depressed.
Well, that's true. That's true.
And so if we've got our time in life is ticking away, slipping right through our fingers, and then we voluntarily bring in these elements that really just suck the vitality out of us. Put the thing down. Be very intentional how we have to be really intentional how we use it. We got
Careful who you follow, huh?
Careful who you follow.
Careful who you follow. Matter of fact, you may want to all come to one of these retreats. Give me your phone and allow me to unfollow people for you. I will do it because you don't have
digital detox.
Will you allow me to do that for you?
Oh,
yes, but you have to understand my intention behind the things I follow.
Hold it. He just said yes. So go ahead and hand her your phone right now. By the end of the show, you're going to have a whole new setup. Hand it over. He did it. Okay. Oh, he's crying. Nature's metal, gone. Wedding fails, gone.
You guys think that's entertainment. That stuff is education.
That's study.
Anyway, all I'm saying, it is, and I understand. And the interesting thing is yoga teachers, people run their own businesses. You actually have to do it. If you don't have a social media presence, you're lost in the material world. But it's a slippery slope.
Okay.
That's the thing. It's a slippery slope because you got to post, you got to make things. Just yesterday, I was telling everybody to spread my reel around, advertise my book. It's a necessity. It sells books, but it's a slippery slope, and you can get onto it, and you can feel, am I getting validated? Are people liking this? Are people commenting on this? What is their comment? It's and those comments, they don't weigh the same. You can get 20 good comments and one bad comment. That weighs, right? It's differently. It's different how that affects you and how you take that in. You got one bad comment, I'm sad. Maybe for the rest of the day.
And even in the stuff that you're not directly involved in, like you're just scrolling and observing. Like I find this happens about once every day or 2 days. I find myself stuck scrolling. And it happens. It's pretty easy to happen.
Even Kostuba.
And
what would Kostuba do?
Well, here's the key. Then I find myself, I'm watching stuff, and these are just like 10-second clips and stuff like that. And then I say, this is totally inane. what
You're
I'm
like, I want to
watching
check.
right now.
You're like, I want to check out the full one on YouTube now. Let me find that link.
No, the opposite. Like, in other words, this is the stupidest stuff. This is like injecting stupidity right into my veins.
Yeah, it is.
It's like,
Yes. I've seen the stuff you follow. It's bad.
I'm just trying to share a point. All right, just trying to share a point. I think it's really easy to get at any moment to get locked into that, and it's just making us dumber, and it's making us more depressed. We got to get outside, get in the sun, get into nature, do some breathing, do some meditation,
I can help you.
hear some wisdom, associate with people that lift you up, and you're going to be happier. You're going to feel you have purpose, you have meaning. You're going to develop all the kind of good qualities that we're going to read about today.
You know what? There's a power in hate, isn't there?
Well, hate's a whole nother thing.
There's a power in finding somebody to hate.
You know what's
And
going.
so people go to these
I'll give you an
things where there's
example of it.
hateful that it makes you go away. Like, yeah,
If-
got those guys.
In my feeds, whether it's on YouTube or anything right now, right? You know what comes
Yeah.
up
What?
is the WNBA, right? It's like
That's-
right because these two girls just came up in it,
what
and
happened?
like they're rookies now.
They're
And
coming
it's
up
like they're being pitted
ranks.
as rivals. There's a whole racial element to it. There's all this. There's a whole like kind of like you're meant to kind of like hate one and not the other. Like
Which one do you
you-
hate?
I don't hate either of them. I'm trying to
All right, well,
avoid
you're
that.
following it, so I thought you were like sucked into it. Go on,
Well,
tell me.
it's I can't flip something open without seeing that, and I just see it's like just let the girls play some basketball.
Mm.
Why is everyone trying to kind of co-opt it into their political agenda?
Sure.
And just like it's another thing to pour gasoline on our fire of hate.
Sure. The hate
That's how
sells,
social
too.
media
That's the thing.
works. If
does.
this was if this was in the 1970s and it happened, it would just be something that you watch on television every now and then, and the whole thing would be like so much cooler. But
Yeah.
but now it's like, no, it's something that you're engaging with 25 times in a day, and it's just stoking your ignorance, and your.
You know what? Sattva doesn't sell. There's not going to be no reality shows based on a Sattvic family. You need.
Well, there was Little
like,
House on the Prairie, Ragana.
It sold then, but then we took it up a
With the
notch.
Waltons.
We
The
took it up a
Waltons.
notch. I grew up on the Waltons. 8 is Enough. All these type of shows that were like completely Sattvic, the
Right.
Partridge Family, and then they had to take it a little crazier.
I don't know if I call the
A
Partridge
little
Family
crazy.
completely Suffolk, but okay.
Yeah, and nowadays, like, imagine a reality show where they have like Housewives of Beverly Hills, or it's
Oh,
no one
God.
wants to watch.
Reality
Okay,
television.
it's 9 o'clock. It's getting late. Let's go to bed. It's just like you want like aggro people, dysfunctional fighting.
It's making us sick.
split-ups. Huh?
It's making us sick.
Yeah, and it sells. We like everything. We lean towards the mode of passion, towards extremes. We like our soda sweet. We like our coffee supersized. They look at that. Even my nice European friends here. They look at what we drink. They're like, "How big of that drink are you guys going to drink? Like, what's the matter with you guys? You drink that thing the size of your
It's
head."
true. It's true. It's like, what are you guys doing? Are you
Or we
insane?
went to a restaurant last night and
Yeah.
Ragu was ordering.
This thing's so small.
Road Rage was just like, oh my gosh, because Ragu was like, okay, I want this quattro formaggio pizza, but I want, eggplant on it and cherry tomatoes, and I want you to cook it really well. And
I'm giving him a lot of.
He's
I'm
like
giving a lot of details in my order.
customizing every part of his order. And Maturity is like, we just don't do that here. We just order off the menu.
You're not allowed to give explicit directions on how to
Alright.
cook
It's
it.
like I tell him exactly what I want.
Now, Mara, this is what I want you to do while you have the phone with you. I want you
Okay.
to follow, see if there's like a Little House on the Prairie thread. Just get him hooked on that. 'Cause Waltons, just like that's the stuff that should be coming up in his feed.
Got it. I'm on it.
Work on that.
I have a file. I follow. Anyway, let's stop. I'm just squirreling around now, but we understand the point.
It's
Stu,
making
to
us
get off
sick.
your phone.
That's my point. If you feel
Yeah.
sick, if
Follow
you feel
more Sattvic
depressed,
things.
this is why.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, it's not helping.
It's not
And
helping.
taking some antidepressant
Oh God!
pharmaceuticals
Now you're
are
making the
not gonna
problem worse.
turn it down, turn it off, unsubscribe, unfollow, only put positive messages in your
Stuff on
head,
there.
wake up early, shower twice a day. You know,
Read
eat fresh
Bhagavatam.
fruit, go on a little cleanse, go to bed early, turn off the TV, don't stop paying for cable. I can
There you go.
help you.
Thank you, Raghunath. That's what I was looking for. Not the debate about labels, right? That's what I wanted out of you.
Well,
Thank you.
I'm just got issues with the surgeon.
Okay.
Well, he's the general, not my general.
Okay.
Okay. Let's get into the Bhagavatam. See what the Bhagavatam says about all this.
Let's do it. Narayanam.
Narayanam namaskrityanam chaivan narotamam devim saraswatim vyasam tatu jayam mudirayat. Before he started the Srimad Bhagavatam, which is our very means of conquest, one should offer respectful obeisances to the Supreme Lord, Narayan, unto Narayan Rishi, the supremmost human being, and to Mother Saraswati, the goddess of learning, and to Srila Vyasadeva, the author. Nasta prayeshu bhadreshu nityam bhagavat sevaya bhagavati uttama shloke bhaktir bhavati niyashtiki. By regular attendance in classes in the Bhagavatam, and by rendering service to the pure devotees, all that is troublesome to the heart will become eradicated, and loving service to the Supreme Lord will be established in the heart as an irrevocable fact. Om agana tamarandasya gyanan janasalakaya chakshurun midatam yena tasmai shri gurave namaha. I was born in the darkness of ignorance. My teachers are opening my eyes with the torchlight of knowledge. I offer my obeisances at their lotus feet. Reading from the Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 7, Chapter 11, text 8 to 12. We're still in the midst of all these things that civilized people do.
Yeah, these are 30 principles, you could say, that it says they're followed by human beings. This is what gets us off the animal level and can bring us to the stage of Dharma and ultimately to Bhakti. I think it's like the last 10 of them are like straight up Bhakti. And the ones before that are like favorable for Bhakti.
Clean living. You know, it's interesting. When I first heard that thing, when I first got into Bhakti, they say this, you know, the very common phrase from the Bhagavatam, but devotees will use this in their preaching. They'll say that we're not human until we follow certain regulations of the senses. They say otherwise we're just eating, sleeping, mating and defending. Right. And we are Prabhupada said we are polished, right? Polished animals.
We might eat a little nicer. We might
eat a fancy restaurant, have a Posturepedic mattress.
But I tell you, when you look at, you know, like all the stuff that we're talking about, like the big gulp, right? You take a big cup that's bigger than your stomach and your bladder combined.
And your head.
You fill it full of like toxic, corrosive, sugary syrup.
Yeah.
and then you drink the whole thing. You know, you couldn't have just a little bit.
Yeah.
Oh man, like an animal wouldn't be that dumb, right?
Animal has some instinct. We're sort of got this free will, and we have the free will to break our natural instinct.
And just
the fact that we eat cold things on cold days, you know, we're missing a chip in the brain. It's like God gave us the free will chip, and we're like, okay, we're gonna do whatever we want.
All right. So where are we on this list? We were humming along for a while.
We were humming along. We were on.
Got it, Mary?
Gradually taking leave of unnecessary engagements.
Did we do that?
Observing the futility of unnecessary activities of human society. We do that, right? We remaining silent.
Okay, I think that's where we start. Remaining silent. Why don't you read up to remaining silent, grave, just real fast, just run through them. We won't discuss them. But
okay, these are the general principles to be followed by all human beings, right? We said the manual for a human body: truthfulness, mercy, austerity, observing fasts on certain days of the month, bathing twice a day, tolerance, discrimination between right and wrong, control of the mind, control of the senses, nonviolence, celibacy, charity, reading of scripture, simplicity, satisfaction, rendering service to saintly persons, gradually taking leave of unnecessary engagements.
That's doom scrolling right there.
Yeah. Observing the futility of the unnecessary activities of human society.
You got to be thoughtful, reflective on that. You got to be observant.
I'm not going to do this dumb thing.
Yeah, right.
Remaining
Okay. So now we're picking up on the new ones now, I think.
okay.
Right?
Remaining silent.
Stay silent. That means you be quiet.
You be quiet.
Sip it.
Zip it, zip. Remaining silent and grave and avoiding unnecessary talk.
Yeah. So for some yogis would take vows of Maunavrata, right? Complete silence for a long period of time.
It's a thing. There's certain
It's a thing.
if you hang out in yoga circles in India, there's people who do all different types of interesting like tapas.
They're experimenting with the mind, right? It's all ways to experiment with the effect that it has on your mind.
We were just reading today in the on the drive here about the Doot Baba.
Oh yeah, I only
The
I
milk,
drink milk.
the milk. He doesn't eat anything except milk. There's a whole group of yogis in India that eat nothing except milk, and that's their vow.
It's got everything in it, right?
They're called
there.
Doot Babas. Yeah. Then there are these Mona Babas, and the Mona Babas they just don't talk. They've just given up talking. And whenever you make some type of sacrifice, you get some type of benefit. You know.
You might develop some power.
You do develop some power.
But
For
even
example,
on the
if you blindfold yourself,
Yeah.
your senses become, your other senses become a little bit more sharpened. You need to use your ears more, right? Your sense of touch more.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah, and so performing these yogic experiments on how these regulations affect the mind is something that's always been there in the yoga tradition. In our particular path of bhakti yoga, our commentators will say remaining silent means remaining silent to all the talk that's not uplifting, that's not related to Krishna, like that. Like you just renounce all that kind of talk, which is, if we did that, what would be left? Like how much, right? How much would be left? An interesting question, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Especially with me. I talk a lot. You could like in your couple, did you talk more than your wife or did your wife talk more than you? Does your wife talk more than you?
I probably talk more than her.
You probably talk more. Yeah, I talk more than Mara. Amarananda, Gopi. Who talks more? Amarananda. Oh, yeah. Am I kidding? All right, we got a bunch of loudmouth men. Oh, yep. Lori Pag talks a lot, but Brian
Chief.
talks more.
Chief.
Chief
Chief is saying Lori. Lori's saying the chief.
Oh, they're both pointing to each other. Yeah, no, I'd be very curious if it's a more male thing. I thought women talk more, but maybe the ones we just interviewed has been 4 for 4 men. Okay. There's not.
Okay.
Okay,
And
there you go.
regardless of the, you don't not need
Regardless
to make
of
this a
it-
man-woman thing, Raghunath.
Well, regardless of it is, the fact is, if we just talked about Krishna conscious stuff, I don't necessarily think we'd change we probably, like people like me and our Marananda and Brian and the chief, we got big mouths. Like we talk about anything all the time. But
Right.
if we are more Krishna conscious, we might squeeze it
just as
down a
much.
little bit. We'd cut the fat, 20%
Okay.
would come off. And we just talk more about spiritual things all the time.
That's the goal. Yeah, and you would be considered remaining silent if you did that.
If you're only singing about the holy name all the time and talking about spiritual things, that is silence.
Oh, beautiful. Raghunath. The sound of silence. Hello, darkness, my old friend.
Ooh, the sound of silence. You Zen cone. You're a living Zen cone, Prabhu.
I don't even know
Considering whether one is the body or the soul,
Okay.
right? Start to think about these things. That's
That's
another
right.
sign.
Use your
of a
brain for
spiritual-
this kind of thing, right?
Yeah, this is another sign of you being a human. Am I this body? Because this body just now has a beard. And then I got to cut off. Am I the beard? I can cut that beard off. Where
Yeah.
am I now? If I'm the body, am I this limb? What if I lose this limb?
Am I still me?
Am I still me?
Or even the subtle body, the mind, right?
You know what I think about that a lot? People get plastic surgery all the time. Sometimes for beauty, sometimes for disguises,
Little Botox?
sometimes for.
What?
Mara's laughing on the
Disguise?
Yeah,
Right.
sometimes people do get plastic surgery for disguises. Like if they're wanted in a particular state for a crime, they'll get a whole face job. But my point is, once you change the face, are they a different person? No, they're the same person.
Same person, different face.
Right. Same person, different face. So what are we?
and
It's a
even
very interesting thing.
states of
Sometimes
mind.
people lose their minds.
Well, that's where I'm going, Ragnar. That's where I'm trying to go. Okay.
Well, there's
So
a phenomenon of people who can, something happens, they get in a car accident. We were just talking about this, right? And some people, they just can't remember anything about their life.
Yeah, well, I told you that happened to me once when I was a kid. Not that I couldn't remember anything about my life, but I forgot like stuff. Like I forgot how you remember I think I told you about that. I don't know if I talked about it on the
I
podcast.
don't remember that. You
Well,
forgot
I
your
was
life.
I was in 5th grade and I was playing kickball. You know, like on pavement. And I think I was playing first
Got
base.
whacked?
Yeah, I was playing first base and they threw the ball to me to, and someone's running. It was like a big guy that's like running to first and he knocked me over. And I hit the
You're
ground.
like,
I
who
chipped my
am I?
tooth, I chipped my tooth.
Oh, I'm sorry.
It's okay.
You got
You
a
sound
fake
like you took a
tooth in
little
there?
pleasure in that, Ragnar.
No, I'm
What was that?
not. You have
Ah,
a
what was
fake
that?
tooth? You got a fake tooth there?
All right. No, it chipped it. I finally got it repaired like
Okay.
30 years later. Um, but then they took me to the nurse in the school,
Yeah.
and the nurse said, "What happened?" I was like,
I don't even
"I don't know. I had no idea. I was searching my mind. I was searching every corner of it. I couldn't find what had
A
happened to
little
me.
concussion.
Something like that." But the fact is, a lot of meditation, like the early practices of meditation, right? When you sit down, you do some breathing, you relax, and then you begin to observe your mind and you watch the thoughts in your mind come and go, and hopefully you get the profound experience. I'm not this mind. The mind is
Sure.
something that's moving on its own accord, and it's something that I can observe as a separate being. I observe my body, observe my mind. They're not me. Considering whether one is the body or the soul, I am something else. I'm something beyond that. I'm something non-material. I'm something eternal.
Then there's that thing, that next level of spiritual growth when you realize all my desires are making me miserable. And you start to have this thing about like, these are just desires. And I know they won't even.
In other words, it's programming in my mind that has nothing to do with me, and it's dragging me around.
Yeah. Or when you start fasting and you start to, if you ever get into fasting and start like, I'm not even hungry, yet my senses are pulling
Driving
me
to the fridge.
I've been programmed. Or if you break addictive behavior, you realize, wow, I was out of control.
I've
There
seen
was
you
a
walking
difference
into that snack closet, Raghunath.
Our snack pantry has a bad rep.
There he goes again.
But the idea is that there's a sensual me, and then there's
Yeah.
me as the observer of oh, look at me. And I'm sure if you were an addict to something, you're like, I want that drug, I want that fix, I want that porn, I want to spend whatever is pulling you, your mind, your senses, your genitals, whatever's dragging you around. When you get the realization that I'm separate from this urge, that's a big step in spiritual enlightenment.
Oh, it's a game changer. And so right here it's saying you need to consider that. You need to consider that regularly. You need to consider that throughout the day.
Yeah. Well, that's why that's why we have the Sangha. That's why there's
there you go.
Bhakti recovery groups and 12-step
Every
meetings
day.
and Srimad Bhagavatam every day. It says so right in the preamble.
Geritol.
If one listens to this every day, everything that's troublesome to your heart become eradicated. Isn't that a great promise?
It's a good one. All right.
It is.
Okay.
It's the best promise. Okay, let's continue on.
Now we're getting to
How
the
to
more
be a
charitable.
human.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, we simplicity, satisfaction.
Considering whether.
Okay, considering the soul.
We just read that one, yeah. Distributing
food equally to all living entities, both men and animals. What does that mean?
It means you feed the animals too.
What animals?
You're-
I don't feed any. I mean,
You're concerned. You make sure that everyone in the community is being fed.
okay, all right. I take care of dogs. Okay, we have animals. I feed them.
You feed the dogs. Maybe the birds
sense.
need a little food.
I thought that
after
meant like
that.
going to the forest and okay.
Well, sometimes the animals in the neighborhood need a little food.
Yeah.
You take care of them. Nobody goes hungry.
Okay.
Very
Seeing
important. We can't just sit. There's something in the. And we live in a crazy world where everything's so messed up. It's hard. But there's something wrong if we're sitting down and enjoying food and others can't.
Sure.
You know, it hardens the heart if we just live that way and we don't think
I
of
know.
others.
I
That
know.
you know, it hardens the heart. It hardens the heart. It makes it hard towards bhakti, hard towards that evolution towards love that we're trying to develop. So there's a regulation built into the lifestyle of the progressive dharmic human being. Hey, you need to be concerned that everybody's getting food.
You always see that in India. Sometimes you're buying something in a shop, and oftentimes it's something frivolous, like, oh, I'm gonna buy a new kurta, a new shirt or something. And then a beggar will come by and you feel like, oh, so guilty or something. You're buying something. And then the shopkeeper, because in New York City, you're trained just like, oh, I gotta ignore beggars or I'll be overwhelmed by beggars. But the shopkeeper will, every shopkeeper
The
gives
shopkeepers give
charity
a
like
little
that.
something, and they have
give a
the
little
faith
something.
that if to do well in business, I need to be charitable, right?
Yeah. It's not pure devotional service, but it's
And
better than me
and
just sitting there trying to ignore them buying a fancy shirt so I look cool for you. So you think I'm cool.
and we should also have the faith that the beggars that we meet in the street also, they can't be ignored.
Hmm.
They can't be ignored. We've spoken about this before.
Yeah.
You sound like you're like, well, maybe they can be.
No, I didn't say that.
Okay.
I don't know. I just don't know how to solve the inequity problem. You know what? I'm just not mentally capable. I just got to, you know what?
Just give a
Sometimes you gotta
dollar,
do
Raghunath.
for a
That's
few-
pretty
Sometimes you
simple.
got to do for a few what you'd like to do for everybody. You know what I mean?
Yeah, what
Sometimes
you
can
do in
for a
your,
few.
whether you do it locally, think
I mean, because if
globally,
you go to
act
India
locally.
and there's like you give to a few people, and then all of a sudden you get surrounded by thousands.
Well, it's one thing if it's little kids that don't really need it.
Oh, kids don't need it.
No, a lot of those kids don't. They're just,
Oh.
they're just trying to go buy some more candy.
Are they?
Yeah.
Anyway,
But you know what you do? I've seen
I'm
people,
getting
you just
over
bring
my
a little
head.
candy with you.
You know what? That's a good plan. But they're
Yeah.
like, what if I need rice?
You know what? What
I
I've
want
also
candy.
seen. You know what
I
I've
need
also seen
rice.
devotees do, like in Vrindavan,
What?
like in Govardhan or around Radhakund, they would carry pencils, and you give the kid a pencil, and they're like, "Oh wow, I just got a pencil! Like, here's a pencil," and they're like, "Oh yeah," it's like totally satisfying.
Pencils are cool. Okay.
All right. But here's the point, right? We're not trying to turn anyone away. We're trying to think of the welfare of every living being.
No,
Particularly,
if we had
everybody's got
surplus money.
You give in charity, Raghunath. It's important.
If we had surplus money, not only that, we're into just prasadam distribution. It's a big part of our
Prasadam
mission.
distribution, yeah. Do you give in charity, Raghunath?
Yeah,
Okay. Who do you give to?
the animals.
There's a
See,
lot of nice
every
charities we can give to, like bhakti related.
I just recently got out of debt.
Oh, now you see, here come the excuse. You know why? Because you've been too greedy and miserly. That's why. You got to give, and it all comes back. That's our philosophy, is it not?
Maybe it is.
Now you know what you give. You give to the Sandipani Muni school in Vrindavan. The girls' school. That's a great charity to give to, right?
Yeah.
You give to the cows at the Govardhan
Cow
Eco
protection.
Village. Cow protection. We need
Think
that in
about
society.
getting a cow. Anyway, let's not squirrel off now.
No, these are
Talk about
important
animals
topics.
I'm going to
One
adopt.
must give in charity. Really,
Okay. If
it's
you want to
it's
be a human.
important if you want to be human. All right.
Seeing every soul, especially in the human form, as part of the Supreme Lord.
Seeing
That's
every
a big,
soul.
That's a big one.
Yes.
We only tend to think, well, my friends, they're part of God, but this idiot
Every living
politician,
every
everybody's
soul.
part of God.
This is
and they're
what
just
we're meant to
covered
be
in different
contemplating in
ways.
life. Why didn't we talk about this in school?
Yeah.
I'm a little upset about that.
I was
feel like a lot
chasing
of-
girls. That's all I was doing in school.
Well, but the teachers, why wasn't it built in the curriculum that at least to contemplate these ideas? Some people in the world believe that every living being is part of God. Why didn't
Yeah.
we hear that?
Did
You know what I
ever
saw? I
stu-
saw
Did you
something.
ever study Hinduism in school at all?
No, never.
Oh, really? I did. 8th grade.
Well, hopefully you did get some of that then.
Probably did.
But I saw something. I saw on social media clip yesterday, and it had a kid, and he got it through psychedelics. but he got a feeling that God is everywhere. Right? He wasn't like addicted to drugs or anything like that. He just had this one experience. And then he was telling his mother, "Don't you feel it? I can feel it. God is everywhere. God is in everyone." And the mother just said, "No, no,
You're right.
no. God is someone that you don't see until you die." And she had her child committed
Oh,
to
really?
like a mental
That's
institution.
horrible.
Yeah, it's like someone finally comes through with the right way of thinking. This is the stuff we should be learning from when we're like just 3 years old. That
That
hey, God
info
is
wasn't
everywhere.
available. That info,
Yeah.
practically speaking, wasn't available.
They were
back then.
interviewing the mother, and she was saying, "No, are you kidding me? Look at this. You know, God is someone you meet after you die." And she actually had him committed.
Wow. And it's from like the old days.
It was black and white, whatever it was. It was probably from the
yeah,
70s.
That's the old days.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, we got to talk about this
Here-
stuff.
That's what we're doing.
I know. I'm just saying.
Hearing about the activities and instructions given by the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is the shelter of the saintly persons.
You're reading that Shastra, right? Getting a
Yeah.
little sangha together.
In a sangha.
Okay.
Chanting about these
Okay,
activities and
we've moved in.
instructions.
Now we've moved into the pure bhakti instructions here. Right?
Yeah. Chanting about these activities.
Okay, hearing, chanting, shravanam, kirtanam,
Hearing about them, chanting, and just speaking about them.
and then smarnam.
Yeah. Like me and Amarana did today, just singing in the car. Singing in the car. Always remembering these activities and instructions.
Smarnam.
Always remembering activities and instructions.
That's where your meditation goes, right? You
Mm.
consciously bring your mind to remembering what you've. Krishna's
Yeah.
Leela. Do you sometimes remember a Leela of Krishna? Sit back and.
Not just that, but philosophies. The philosophy of life.
That's there too.
You know, we're talking about World War I.
But what about
today.
Krishna Leela
World War I
Baba?
started in Sarajevo with the assassination of
Hold it.
Prince
Where did you go?
Ferdinand. Prince, yeah, and so it's like, wow, it's like this was a huge thing. The whole thing triggered World War I.
How did you get to World War I? We were just talking about here.
Because you're talking about, do you think about God? I was like, yeah, but I think about God, not just Krishna's Leela. I do that too. I go to bed thinking about Lord and Shringadev because I sing that song every night. But I'm saying
Monday in
even other
history?
things that are happening in life,
Yeah.
you got to think about that and apply the Bhagavatam to life.
To it.
It's not
Okay.
just about reading the Krishna storybook.
But there is
It's about
something about
every-
that too, Raghunath.
There is, and I'm trying to tell you about Prince Ferdinand.
No, but I'm saying there's something to thinking about Krishna's Leela. We got to make
Yes,
some
there is
exclusive time
something
for
very
that.
important about that.
All right, just
Sometimes
some exclusive
you're
time.
driving
Don't
to
water
a
it
place
down.
that was. We're driving to a place where the prince was assassinated, so it's good to have. Well, what does that got to do with my life? Well, it's got something to do with like here's a huge thing. It triggered tens of thousands of deaths,
I'm
a
triggered.
world calamity, and I didn't even practically know about it. That's how important our life is. That was a whole world war, and so many people don't even know about it. So many Americans have never even gone there. We don't even know about Prince Ferdinand. These are like, and this is our life. I think I'm so significant. I think it's so important. And if it's over in a moment, like a sneeze in eternal time, I think it's important to meditate like that.
Thank you, Raghunath. I agree with you, but I also want to emphasize that we should set aside some time exclusively for meditating on Krishna's pastimes.
Yeah,
His
we've been doing that
qualities, his
every day, right, Amarananda?
I'm not saying that you're not, Raghunath. I'm not
Every
saying that you're
day.
not, okay? You don't need to get
Are
all
you the
defensive.
Leela cops? Are you the Leela
No,
cop?
I'm just saying it. No, we're reading about it in this book right now, so that's why I brought it up. And
Okay.
I'm speaking about it because we just read about it.
Hearing
Always
about the
remembering these
activities and instructions given by activities,
Yeah.
Shaq, and instructions.
Yes,
That's
like
what I was talking
Bhagavatam
about.
is the activities, Bhagavad Gita is the instructions.
Yeah. So I was talking about the instructions.
No, you're
Given by
talking
the
about
Supreme Personality of
world
Godhead.
history.
Who is the? I know, and you're applying. You have to apply it. The
I
whole
know.
world isn't just going to be
Why-
Krishna dancing on
why can't you
Kaliya's
just
hoods.
accept what I'm
All
saying?
I'm saying is you have to learn to see the philosophy wherever you go and with everything that you do.
I'm all for it. I said that. Why do you keep defending that?
Because
all for
every time I read on, Jesus.
You're too much. I've already surrendered that. And then I just added one more thing And
which
I
is
said,
the original
also-
thing that you said.
which you ignored and blew past and blew over.
No,
I'm
I'm
saying, no, it's
saying I'm
important.
doing that.
Okay.
Also, you live in a little 10th canto world.
I don't. I acknowledged your thing. I validated what you're saying.
Okay. Trying to render service, performing, worshiping,
Whoa. You just went
always
through
remembering
two.
these activities and instructions.
Okay. Then.
Check.
Yeah.
Trying to render service.
Seva.
That's
Take your
nice.
energy, sacrifice your time and your energy, and do
We
some
got
seva.
here. Mara runs upstairs, sets up all the computers. We just got here.
She's
We're
doing
all
seva.
exhausted. She sets up all the computers. Road rage is like, I'm going to carry all the bags. He's carrying like tons of stuff up all these stairs.
What were you doing, Rugger? What were you doing?
I was sort of spaced out, scrolling around.
I was running to go get us something to drink. For the
Yeah, I'm
show.
running, just running around, getting something to drink for this show. No, you know what I was doing?
You
I
were
was
trying to
catching
get a
up
big
on,
gulp.
on messages. On messages.
You're saying, why isn't this big gulp big enough?
big gulp. This is so American.
We're out
Big
of time.
Mac,
Rugger.
Big gulp.
We got to continue this tomorrow.
Honeycomb's big. Yeah. It's not small. No. Like big cereal. Remember that big cereal? You can't even chew it.
Honeycombs.
Honeycombs. Like choking little children.
All right. Let's all try to uplift our consciousness today. Remember Krishna's pastimes.
And everything. See Krishna in everything.
Okay.
Or you could do that.
Alright.
Not just in his pastimes, because the whole world's going to happen. You got a life. You got to live.
That is life, Raghunath. That is life.
It is life. So see Krishna everywhere. And if one sees me in every,
What was it
yum
again?
yum bapi smaram babam tyajati anti
That's
kaleva.
remembering the instructions right there. The Bhagavad Gita.
If one sees me everywhere and
Sees
sees everything in me,
I'm
I am
never
never
lost
lost
to
to him,
nor they
nor
never
is he
lost
lost
to me.
to me.
There you go.
Bhagavad Gita,
So
thank you.
Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam. Keep it right there. Keep it tight, Raghunath. Keep it tight.
Zip it. Go on, Mara. Take away.
For some takeaways.
Quiet down, Raghunath. Shh.
I'm gonna come right through the screen, tackle you.
All right, takeaways.
Take what you got, Mara.
Be careful who you follow on social media.
Oh, please
Check.
be careful.
Check. And if you have any doubts, like wait till Bhakta Udi gets to Super Soul Farm. He's coming as soon as I get back. I'm gonna go through your phone, Bhakta Udi. Get
Let Mara do
ready.
it. Let
You
Mara do
better
it.
start without me. And I'm gonna go unfollow.
Mara, what did you eliminate from Raghunath's feed?
Let me just tell you this. Whenever someone's like, I'm experiencing a little bit of Maya, I just go, give me your phone.
Oh.
Is that really what you do?
Yes, I do.
Okay, Mara doubts that statement.
Yeah. Just to see who they're texting a lot.
All right.
Sattva doesn't sell.
Sattva doesn't sell. Don't try to sell it.
Supper doesn't sell.
Unsubscribe, unfollow, turn it off, and go outside.
Oh,
There you
yeah. Thank you.
Thank
That was
you.
from Martina. I
Thank
think.
you.
Thank you.
We're just polished animals until we regulate our senses.
Mhm.
Polished animals. Love it.
Some
Like what-
some
like
animals
when you-
don't polish up well. Like a seal, that'll polish well. But like,
Yeah.
like
A
a
long-haired
bear?
dog, you can comb them.
Cuttlefish.
Cuttlefish. I saw cuttlefish yesterday.
Okay.
Bhagavatam is a user's manual for the human body.
Boom.
Yes.
Take it
yes.
home. Read it. Study it.
Consider that we are separate from our urges.
We
Oh,
are separate from our urge. You are not your urge. I like
you
that.
either, Raghunath.
That's a tattoo. Guess what? Sachi just got a tattoo.
What
My
you get?
daughter.
What
She got Rake Krishna Mari Ke Mari
Oh,
Krishna
okay.
Rake
You
Ke.
were happy with that one, right?
Yeah.
But
Sanskrit.
of course, it
on a
was
rib.
right across her forehead.
It's on a rib. If Krishna wants to save you, no one can kill you. If Krishna wants to kill you, no one can save you.
Just tell her to be careful with that one.
I know.
Still.
She also bought a super fast motorcycle.
I was gonna say, if that's related to motorcycle riding, she might want to
I think it
reconsider
is.
that. Where did she get it?
Where'd she get it? She
In
got it
Split.
split.
Is it in English or is it in
No,
Sanskrit?
it's in Bengali.
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 Nice.
Looks nice.
Looks nice.
I'm sorry. Where did you say? Where was it?
She got it it's in Bengali. She got it in Split, Croatia.
No, but on her body.
rib
where
On
is
her
it?
ribs, under a rib cage.
Her rib cage. Okay.
Like, yeah. Okay, continue on.
Give in charity if you want to be human.
Giving charity.
Subhuman. Miser.
Scrooge.
Scrooge McDuck.
We think we're so important, but it's over like a sneeze.
It's over like a sneeze. You didn't even know who Prince Ferdinand was, did he?
I know who Prince Ferdinand. The
You
whole
did
World
not.
World War I was based on his assassination. Everybody knows it's wrong. But I
You
try
just-
not to delve too
you
much
just
in that
learned
and
that
meditate on Krishna's
today.
pastimes.
And
Franco, all those characters, you know.
You just know that for the Saturday Night Live skit.
I don't even know what
Francisco
you're talking
Franco is still dead.
about. I don't know that.
and even Kastuba gets stuck scrolling.
I do
Even
some-
Kostuba gets stuck scrolling.
injecting
Sometimes.
stupidity into my
Injecting
veins.
stupidity right in his vein. What's mainlining stupidity?
That's right. I need a recovery group.
What will cost? What would Kostuba do? Kostuba. Thanks everybody for joining us. Thanks everybody for joining late. Good to see Parmananda on the show. Parabol Parmananda and Amy Stellar.
Parmananda. Hey, Parmananda, I wrote to you. You didn't get back to me. What's with that?
He was playing with Judge on tour.
Oh,
Where are they?
I don't know. They were in Portugal, hanging out with Sega.
We haven't seen Sega.
Hey, Bart
I
Halai
haven't
is
seen
here.
Sega
Welcome to the show,
since
Bart Halai.
2 years or something like that.
Welcome to the show,
Se-
Kimmy Carroll.
I think right now Sega should be thinking about getting the family over to Italy next year.
That would be good.
Come on, Sega.
Who else is here? I gotta say hello. Alita
Parmananda's
Deshori's here.
phone
Harry
got
Bowl. I got Kimmy Carroll. Danielle showed up. Hey, Danielle. Krishna Mai is here.
Raghunath, I think you had a good idea. We take the retreat idea past the digital detox and into you give us your phone. Not only do you not get it for a couple days, but
It's-
we're going to reprogram the entire phone for you.
It's beyond a digital detox. You're following all new people now.
It's a digital reprogram.
It's a digital reprogram. Like Timothy Tucker, give me that phone of yours. You're like following, liking.
How Parmananda's phone got stolen.
Yeah, that was the.
Oh, you got insurance on it, Parmananda? You got insurance on your phone, Kostuba?
Do I have what? Insurance?
Insurance on your phone?
No, I don't.
You have like an iPhone 4, Kostuba.
Excuse me? I have thought about getting one of those flip phone kind of things now, you know, like the phones that don't
Yeah?
have. Yeah.
Trying
It's
to
tempting.
out-simplify me.
It's tempting.
Out-simplify you like that's like a tough contest for Kastuba to out-simplify you.
You wanna have some- yeah. Let's look at my home versus your
Welcome
home.
to my quarter. Don't worry, Bhakta Udi is coming to organize my life.
It's about a 10-year project.
It's a plan. It's a program. And then
Mary,
he's
you
gonna
have
see
to
how
build a
fast I can
team.
undo it.
Okay, you need to build a team.
I need
Rudy and I are working on it.
a team.
Someone's working on the snack closet right now.
A team of professionals from Vienna. Team of therapists from Vienna. Fly them in.
It's more than therapists, though.
Thanks, Kostuba.